Do you feel stuck when you're trying to create an idea for your track? Is finishing tracks challenging for you? Well, don't worry, because in this video, I'm gonna give you my go-to system that I've been developing for more than 8 years. I've been producing music since 2016. And if you implement this system correctly into your workflow, if you follow the mindset tips, the technical tips that I'm gonna give you, if you give me like 20 something minutes of your time, you're not gonna regret, because for some of you, it will help you to produce at least 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, and for some of you, maybe even 10 times faster. So stay tuned, it's gonna be an amazing video. It's gonna be one of my most valuable videos. However, I have to say, it's not gonna be a magic pill. You will have to work and you will have to do things. But if you do it, and if you are serious about music, it will help you tremendously. So I'm super hyped to share these tips with you. If you're new to the channel, my name is Vlad and I create superstar music producers. If you need some help with your music, I do coaching, so just check the links down below. Feel free to book a call. I would love to have a conversation and help you to get some amazing results with your music this year. And without further talking, let's get started with this video. All right, tip number 1, you want to always, or at least like most of the times, start from a ready project. I'll be using some nice analogies for this video. So think of any big brand out there. Take Ferrari, take Apple. They have generations of history. Are they trying to reinvent the wheel every time they make a new model? No. Do the same if you want to produce a lot of music fast. I want to show you this one example of one really cool track. So why am I telling you to start with a ready project, at least if you're not yet where you want to be with your music skills? Because your project is like your script, it's like an engine, mechanism, it's like stuff that already works. So you just take the foundation, kick, bass, drums, leads, what have you, and you tweak that a bit, right? So the goal is to build a system. And once you understand it, it becomes so easy to make a track. So if you start fresh, ask yourself why. Be critical and analytical. Does it really help me to produce faster? And then again, like, I'm not telling you to not to start with a blank project, but if you have a couple of successful tracks that you made, like, why do you want to start with something fresh? Like, you just take something that works, replace a couple of elements, and that's it. And that's a really important mindset shift, because when you take something that is working already, it's just like easy to make new stuff. So bro, don't stress about that. Just, at least for now, just challenge yourself, make like 3, 5, 10 tracks from already projects that you like. Okay, next thing, 1.1, organizing presets and samples. This one is gonna be really quick and I'll show you. I have one go-to drum sample library I use all the time. So number 1, why it's good? It saves time and mental resources, because you don't need to reach out for like new samples. You don't have to go through millions of samples. Again, just like one pack that you use. You will have cohesive sound in all tracks. Same with presets and effects. For the start, get one library for each category. Learn it. It's better to use one thing at 100% of its capacity than 10 things at 10%. So it's just not good. Save individual elements in racks, especially groups, right? So have a template, favorite presets, FX packs, drum packs. So for example, what I can do in Ableton here, let's say you can take the whole thing. I can drag and drop the whole project just like this, I think. Yeah. Right, so you can see here, and you can save groups, you can save a lot of stuff in Ableton. Just take a look. I just dragged the whole project, the whole thing, just like this. So just imagine how much time it will save you, right? So you can save groups like this. You can put that into, I think, the user library. Yeah, just like this. So save, and save. It will save you enormous amount of time, and it's like super important. Okay. What else? Yeah, for the drum library, what I wanted to show you here is you can see that I have 2, but I usually reach out for this one. So this is my favorite drum library. So I have all the drums here. Let's make it a little bit louder. right? And these are really high quality samples. So have one library, and same with presets. You want to organize it. I don't want to spend too much time on that because I'll show you in the next slides what video to watch, so I can save your time and my time as well. So I hope it makes sense with the step number 1. Number 2, have a clear goal and sound in mind. So for example, again, I'm going to use a funny analogy. If I want to have a salad, I go and make a salad. If I want meat, I get meat, right? So for this track, for the project that I just showed you, I wanted to do something psychedelic. I wanted to do something minimal, you know, and the track is like, it's interesting. It's really interesting. If I play you from, I think here. Right? And what I see, I work with a lot of producers in my one-on-one coaching, and what I see a lot of guys struggle with is you don't have a clear goal in mind, right? When you know, like, okay, I want to make a tech house track. Let's say I want to show you another example, which is going to be this track. It's also like sci-tech minimal, but more like a techno. This one is more like psychedelic trance, but listen to the vibe. And I already knew that, okay, I want this specific vibe for this track. I want it, so I got it. It's a whole different energy, it's a whole different vibe, right? So when you have a clear goal, like a clear sound in mind that you want, like, don't worry, it can deviate, like it can be different. You don't need to get too attached. But having some sort of direction, at least knowing, okay, I want to do minimal, I want to do tech house, I want to do psytrance, right? If you want to make it, make it. Again, sometimes, as I said, it will turn out like a completely different thing. So just have fun. It just helps you to get your mind in the right place and to pick the right sounds, okay? So that was step or tip number 2. Number 3. Organize Ableton project. And this is so important. I worked with a lot of producers in my coaching program throughout like this year and earlier than that. And I noticed often people don't organize the projects properly. This way, this will take your mental resources and distract you. Trust me, it's just hard to navigate through the project. Here's the system that I use to organize everything. So for example, all kick, bass, or low instruments and related sounds go into the low end group. So I would usually have just like kick, bass group. That's it. For example, here. So this is something that I always have. And then I do have this tom sound. So this is step number 1. You want to group all your bass sounds into one group. That goes for the drums layers, that goes for everything that is related to the kick, bass, and low end. So this way you can process them separately, or if you need some group processing, depends on you, right? Next step is gonna be drums. So I always group my drums like this. So again, it's just gonna be high end drums, or how could I say that? Just drums in general. So no low end drums here. So here again, I can process them in a really nice way. The next group is going to be instruments, and instruments is going to be my biggest group so far. So I could have some Atmos, I could have some plucky sounds and additional sounds. So it will really depend on how your track sounds, what it needs. But for example, here I do have plucky sounds. Generally, you want to group similar sounds in one project. Excuse me, not the project, the group, right? So plucky sounds, one group. Pads, I do have Atmos. So really slow attack sounds. This should actually go into the leads group. But you get the point, right? And don't forget about the colors, because colors are very important. I've been using the same colors, so like FX, the same color scheme since 2018, and that really helps you, right? So really important to organize. Don't underestimate. It's really, really important. Okay, number 4, signature sound. So this one is going to be one of the most important tips. And I would say like every tip is important. Every tip is important. I spent years doing this. So for me, signature sound is basically like a template. I know what bass, leads, and drums I like. Then I use project templates. You can think of it as a library of presets that help you to produce faster. I'll show you my system in the next slide, and I'll put a link to this video. I really recommend watching it. It will give you a lot of useful tips on how to organize projects, on how to like really put together the signature sound. And to illustrate this example, I'm gonna play you a couple of tracks. So these tracks, what they have in common is kick, bass are the same, drums are pretty similar, right? Just listen to how these tracks feel, and you will notice that it's like I just copy myself, and it's okay to copy yourself, right? Listen to those tracks. Now the second one, which has same bass, like really similar energy, but different key, right? Second drop. Second drop of the first track. They are so similar, and just copied myself, right? So signature sounds, its bass sound is basically like a selection of similar instruments, right? Leads, drums. It's always like somewhat similar, and this is what I call signature sound. Again, let's listen to the third example, which is it can be a little bit different, but generally, like the general vibe, the feel, the style, you will feel that it's coming from one person. Right? So again, it's just really all about sound selection and reusing pretty much like same foundational sounds. So how it looks, let's say you have a kick and a bass combo. You want to create a couple of signature / favorite kick bass combinations, same for lead drums, that you'll be using. Challenge yourself and make next 5 to 10 tracks with pre-made elements, right? So just have like 2, 3, 5 signature basses, like use same presets, use same drums, because that's what's gonna create your signature sound, and that's what's gonna make it easier for you. Okay, for this track, I want sustained bass. For this track, I want a percussive, like tom bass. Like you will see how easy it will be to produce. Okay, let's talk about tip number 5, which will be life-changing for a lot of you guys. Start arranging, composing as soon as possible. Being stuck in a loop is one of the most annoying and unpleasant feelings I know. There's an easy fix to this. Instead of adding more sounds, start moving to the right ASAP, right? Because when you move the track like this, it essentially doesn't help you to finish the track. But when you move the track horizontally, right, you move closer to the end, like with time, this will help. So just by looking at this diagram, like you can see, I was trying to illustrate this, right? So what I want to do right now is I want to show you the one of the versions of the current project, right? It's really empty. But from here, from the break, I just, okay, let me play with the synth. Let me arrange the compose or arrange the track to the right. That's the key. That's what he wants to do ASAP. right? And when you do it this way, like you will inevitably find new ideas as you move to the right. So forget about stacking too many sounds. You don't need too much, right? As I showed you, I just had one lead and it's really boring. Just one lead sound, right? So I hope it makes sense. Let's now talk about tip number 6, minimalism. I keep reusing this diagram. I'm going to link 2 or 3 videos, but it makes so much sense. Your goal is to understand when to add and take out certain sounds. Your mix should breathe. Make sure you watch my previous video that I posted yesterday or like 2 days ago, depending on when I upload this. It talks specifically about when to add and when to take out some of the elements. But let's talk about minimalism, right? I want to show you this track that I currently have. It has 38, including groups, okay? But if you listen to it, it's like, it's so deep, it's so energetic. Listen to this. Another one. And another one. Right, so minimalism, it's so important, and I'm gonna show you examples. And again, this video is not gonna be a magic pill. I just want to get you into the right mindset. Listen to the drop of this track. I just have like one up sound, but it's so good. I love this drop. As you can hear, it is so minimal. Same for this drop, like minimalism, bro. Minimalism is gonna be should be your go-to word for producing music. And again, I'm gonna show you one more example. Although it sounds deep and complex, I don't have a lot of tracks. It's like one lead sound, one bass, drums, and that's it. You don't need more than that. Up to the big club. Don't wanna see you stop. Move your feet, turn it up. I wanna see you drop. Down it goes, take a shot. Don't wanna see you stop. Move your feet, turn it up. I wanna see you drop. To continue with this point, I'm going to show you some more examples. More space means that it will work better in the club. It will pump better. You will have more like this kind of feeling, because essentially more sounds equals to more problems. So you want to get the most from your sounds and only then add new ones, right? So as you can see on this diagram, the more sounds we pack into the mix, the more they will fight with each other, right? So this is why minimalism is so good for club music. And let me show you if I do have, I mean, all the tracks that I showed you, every single example, it's really minimal. And that's so important. So try to get the most from like one, like bass, lead, drums, maybe like atmosphere, and maybe like a plug. And they should not conflict with each other. They should complement each other. So this is why minimalism is so important. Batch tasks. Human brain is very bad at multitasking, unfortunately. So you have to be conscious about how you produce. I recommend batching tasks if finishing tracks is challenging for you now. And I'm going to give you a step-by-step formula how you can make a track, and it's going to be really helpful. So I would recommend, and this is something that I sometimes do, not always, start with a sound design, right? So if you want to create new sounds for the track, just play with the kick, play with the bass, drums, leads, right? Split the process into multiple steps. Maybe it's going to be different for you, but split the process into multiple steps, right? So we do the sound design, right? Then we want to start creating the main loop. Once you pick your favorite presets, once you create something, right? The next step is going to be idea creation. So you want to create kick bass melody, you want to program drums a little bit, you want to program lead melody, not arrogant, it's actually basic arrangement, right? So basic stuff, right? 16 to 32 bars, like 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, right? So first sound design, then idea creation, and then composition. So as I said earlier, you want to move to the right, like right away, ASAP, right? ASAP. Start with composition. Once you do the composition, right, it's like moving to the right. I showed you earlier what this is. Composition is really all about adding some minor details, ear candy, automation, layering, right? I do not mix tracks a lot. I of course want to make sure that, you know, all the instruments are on point, everything is sounding good together, but focus on like expanding the track to the right, right? You want to move the track to the right in time, not like this, once again, right? After you do the composition, you can start mixing. So mixing involves some processing like EQ, compression, saturation, final automation, final details, critical listening. And then after that, you can finish and you can master. Number 4, reference tracks. To be honest, I'm not the best fan of reference tracks. They do help a bit, but I tend to lose inspiration when I use them. However, I still recommend 2-3 tracks to keep your ears tuned to a good sound. So for example, this psychedelic track that I was making, I used a reference track, which I don't know, like I kind of like it, but then it turned out like that I made completely different track. I'm gonna show you this reference just in a second. So as you can hear, it has some similarities like between my track and this one. But again, generally it's a good practice. I would still recommend, if you're struggling to finish tracks, like for sure, use references. And we just have 2 tips left. Use instruments, at least some sort of MIDI keyboard. Any instruments will make you feel the music that you make. And this is so important. The groove, the melody, and much more. Don't underrate this. It will make you stand out as a musician. And I will just put a short little clip from my another video where I explained everything, so I don't have to repeat myself, and so you can see a nice image. Importance of playing real instruments. I can't stress it enough how much this can change your approach to making music and how it can like add and bring more life into your tracks. So I have this beautiful flute, which is like a little bit too big for my hands, but I still can do like, I can do this. Do you think I would be able to do this with a fucking like a library or like synthesizer? Like synthesizer is a bit different instrument, and when you play like a different when you play synthesizer itself, it's like playing on keys, right? But when you add those live elements into your music, at least like for my taste, for my ears, it is a part of my sound. There's like ethnic, oriental, Middle Eastern, traditional, psychedelic, and all these terms, they describe my music. And it's so important to just record as you go, like feel the music, feel the rhythm. I'll be making more videos about that, so I'll uncover this topic for you all. But it's so important to actually like just hit record, fucking play the bass notes, the lead notes, and then you just can enjoy that. Just gonna enjoy that. It's gonna be really amazing. And finally, this is the most important tip so far. You want to have fun. And rules are cool, but the most important thing is to have fun. So whatever works for you, do this. Don't listen to me too much, right? Take this with a grain of salt. It's something that worked for me, but it doesn't mean that you have to copy me, right? You can do what feels right to you, but just make sure that you implement some practices that like you should enjoy. You should be enjoying making music, right? If you're not enjoying the process, it won't work for you. So test the rules, test the principles that I gave you in this video and see if that works. So whatever works for you, focus on that. So okay guys, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you learned something new. Again, as I said, it's not like a lot about demonstration in this video, but if you made it this far, like you are doing really well. And if you implement those tips into your workflow, you will see some amazing results. So as always, thank you for watching. If you need some coaching, all links are down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.